Also, all officers, please.
That's my best Bosun whistle today. Everybody, lawn. We're going to have some music now. We're going to have some music now. No.
Yeah, that's fine.
It'll work.
That'll fine. All right.
So welcome everyone to opening day, those who are here and also those on the internet. And I would like to introduce our Commodore Hansen.
Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Louder. Project.
Can we turn it? Okay. Welcome, everyone, and 24th opening day. I'm very pleased that we all could be here, as well as on our internet, so that many can watch and witness our 124th celebration. I'd like to now ask our fleet chaplain, Ted Graves, to come and give our opening invocation.
Well, yeah, you hear me? Yeah. My mask. No, okay. We have a slight opening day today. But we have a lot of troubles going on. Both in the city, country, the country.
Right there. Step up there. Yeah, that's fine right there. Move up a little bit. There you go. Now go ahead. Continue. There you go.
Go ahead.
All right.
All right. Thank you. I guess we're having not I guess, anybody that's kind of alive and paying half attention, knowing we're having a lot of problems citywide, nationally, federally. It's just a mess. And we're going to need all this invocation is by letter is to invite the presence of the Lord, or invite whomever that you believe in. And I think we need a little help from whomever you believe in right now. Father God, please bring us. I don't know, I'm almost at a loss for words. Please bring us help this summer, or what remains of the summer, and keep the club healthy and our boats healthy. For these things we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ted. I'd like to now ask Mary Avalon, past Commodore Mary Avalon, to come up and present our national ensign. Can everyone please stand? I'd like to now welcome our new member, James Ryan, who will lead us in singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the land, I've forgotten them. We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say doth that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Okay, that's going to be a hard act to follow. I'd like to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge we had 3 members that passed in 2019 since our last opening day. Kestudis I never can say his name right. Kestudis Christianius, Tony Pekalunas, and John LaMonica. I am very happy to report that we have had no members pass in 2020. Taps.
In memory of our servicemen and women who have given their lives in the service of their country, as well as those members who have passed, the Commodore and flag officers will cast a memorial wreath upon the waters. everybody can be seated, please. We are now going to raise the flag for the city of Chicago, the Commodore, and the Rear Commodore.
As they're raising the flags, I'd like to acknowledge my bridge and board. Vice Commodore Russ Fouts is celebrating with his new grandbaby, so he cannot be here today. Rear Commodore R. DeLacy Peters, Recording Secretary Tyra Banks. Is Tyra here? Treasurer Rita Harris. Membership is Chiaka Patterson and Talila Stovall. Sail Fleet Captain Chad King. Fleet Chaplain Ted Graves. Judge Advocate and Power Fleet Captain Brenda Merzen, and Fleet Surgeon Lois Bassett. Karen Harris, I believe, has just returned from a race, so she is our immediate past Commodore. The board members are Ken Harris, Luke Wolbrink, Delia Urgesi-Gray, Charles Szymanski, Brian Wiles, Marlon Harvey, and assistant other committee chairs are Pam Rice, Kim Webb, Chad King, and David Ward. Without all of these wonderful people behind me, we wouldn't be able to do what we are doing today and have pulled together whatever kind of a season we've been able to do. Our past Commodores who are present are Dale Schmerl, welcome back Dale, and Mary Avalon. Oh, and Dennis Hansen. Sorry. That guy. I saw Nacho running around here. He is filling in for Joe Williams from West Truck, who will be returning in approximately 3 weeks. He had some surgery and he's healing very, very well. Any new members here today? Could you please stand up and introduce yourself? Hi, James. Hi, Andy. Okay. Right. Well, welcome. And there's a membership pin over on the table if when you want to go and pick it up. Okay. Any other new members here? James Ryan, that's right. Welcome, James. So, we're kind of doing a truncated ceremony. I appreciate everyone who participated in pulling this together. Kenny Harris, Brian Wiles, Chad King, Charles Szymanski, Marlon Harvey. I mean, there's so many. It was very heart-rending to have the support I did, and I appreciate you all. I'd also like to introduce Daryl Jones, our club steward. I'm not sure where he's at the moment. There he is. He's hiding behind the planter. And Ann Dillenbach, our club coordinator. A few announcements. Given this is our 124th, next year is our 125th, and by the beginning of August, we should be delivered with some buffs that will be available for purchase, celebrating our 125th, kicking that celebration off. A little early, but given this year, I don't think so. Immediately following the ceremony, we'll be going and picking up the food, and the Rasky-Grat Memorial Dinner will proceed. Kathleen and Stan will be hosting that, and they're in the back. So welcome, you guys. I'll be leaving this out over by the club membership cards that you can pick up. If you want to have your boat in the fleet review tomorrow, the fleet review is going to be at noon. We'll do the same kind of circle as we've done in the past, under the gym pole and then back out. And after that, the boats who are going to be racing in the Rasky-Grat race can head out, and we'll start the race off of Casino Pier. We'll announce the course when we get out there. It's not going to be a very long race, kind of like a Wednesday night type race. We also have started Wednesday night racing, and on August 5th, we'll be participating in the 100 boats on the beer can race again downtown. There will be no party afterwards. Does anybody, I mean, since we're kind of breaking a little tradition here, does anybody have any questions? I appreciate everyone wearing masks. That's all going to help keep us safe.
What's the race on the next time?
Tomorrow. Oh, Wednesday night and tomorrow. So we have to do sign-up sheets for that. And Brian, and maybe we'll have, should we have Ann set something up on Dibs for Wednesday nights? Got that, Ann? Okay. Anyway, Ted, would you like to give a blessing for the fleet at this time?
So, blessing the fleet. All right. The real reason why we're here is this boat thing. We're blessing the fleet. We need all kinds of blessings. So let's bow our heads and put a blessing on the fleet. Keep us safe on the water. Keep all crews safe. With these things we pray. Amen.
I did forget one announcement. In the recent hook race, David Ward's Unknown Lady 2 took third place in their section. Congratulations to David and his crew. Okay, please raise the club burgee. No. And now I'd also like to ask James Ryan to come and lead us in God Bless America.
See if I can get the right picture. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home.
So hopefully we will have the guidance to bring our country to peace and health, and let's blow the cannon for our official opening. Thank you, Marlon. All right, we're officially open. I'd like to ask Kathleen and Stan to come up and start the Rasky Grat Memorial Dinner. You guys gotta go get food. Justin, food. You gotta go get food.
All right. Hello, everyone. For those of you who have never been a part of the Rasky Grat Memorial, we're so excited. I'm Kathleen Rasky. I'm the daughter of Gilbert Rasky, who's the namesake of the race, also the niece of Stanley Grat, also namesake of the race. So I can't tell you what a special day it is for our families, and I wanted to just address the group and express our gratitude as a family, and thank everybody for all that you guys have been to us, our families, our family traditions over the past 41 years. So let me talk a little bit about how special it is for us to be here on opening day. Obviously, this year is very different. Our years in our country, our world is very, very different. So to forge forward with the Rasky Grat Memorial has been super special for us. While we do not have all of our family members here and many people here, we certainly remember them. They are here in spirit. Particularly my sister Joan, my Aunt Judy Grat, and my Uncle Dennis Rasky. So it's an honor for us to celebrate this day with you guys. It's an honor to celebrate this club and to also remember my father as well as my uncle together with you guys. So our families, thank you that we can even do this on this day. I wanted to share a little bit. This is my cousin, Stanley Gratkevich, and he's going to talk a little bit in a second here. But I also want to introduce my husband, Terry Van Landingham, and he's been here with us for 16 years. But I just want to talk a little bit about tradition. And it seems that in this time and space that we are all really seeking to be rooted in tradition. So I'm going to go ahead while they're picking up the food. I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about some comments that I wrote down, and a little bit about the history of the race, and then I'm going to hand it over to my cousin. You know, what really binds us together as a family, what binds families together, what roots us as families is tradition. And so everyone has them, whether they are particular gatherings at a certain place or time, or a certain way to gather or to celebrate or exchange gifts. Every family has some sort of traditions. Traditions really bind us together with those we love and help us to stay forever connected with shared memories for a lifetime. The Rasky Grat Memorial Cup is in its 41st year, and it represents tradition. Traditions of the Jackson Park Yacht Club, the yachting community, as well as friends and family of the Raskys and the Grats. And we consider all of you friends and family. It has held a special place in our hearts, a special time, and certainly special memories, and for all of those who have ever been a part, and certainly for those of you that are here today. I really hope that this is a special day for you as well. So on behalf of our collective families, we are super happy that we can continue to be rooted with all of you, and continue to be rooted with all of you here at JPYC, our yachting families. If this is your first time celebrating or participating in the Rasky Grat event tradition, we welcome you and we thank you for joining us for this day. While some may not be able to be here, we certainly know that they are here in spirit. And for all of you here today, I can only surmise that we all are seeking for some sort of normalcy and tradition. And so I hope that this day, as we open up the club officially and follow through with traditions, I hope that this day is very comforting for everybody. When Madam Commodore Janet Hansen pitched the idea to combine opening day ceremonies with the Rasky Grat Memorial Cup, I was super thrilled to be able to forge forward. And it is, again, an honor to celebrate this day, this race, in the midst of the pandemic. And certainly, we want to celebrate all the traditions with you guys. So at this time, I'd like to kind of share a little bit of history. 41 years is a long time to have anything happen. And I just want to share with you, for those that maybe don't know the history of the race, I see many familiar faces out there, and many people that I have not met yet. And so I just want to share a little bit of what is the Rasky Grat Memorial Cup. And so for 40 years, the dinner and festivities and the race has been in Michigan City, Indiana. And so the brief history is, and the core values and the kind of the purpose and kind of how the race kind of came to be. I want to kind of express that and share that briefly. When my father, Gilbert Rasky, passed away at a fairly young age, he was a JPYC member, just bought his first sailboat after arm wrestling his two brothers to buy in as well because he couldn't afford a boat himself. He was best friends with also Stanley Grat, who happened to be his brother-in-law. And so Dennis Rasky and Gilbert Rasky and George Rasky went in on a Islander 30, and they sailed out of Jackson Park Yacht Club. Unfortunately, cancer took my father at a very young age, and his best friend Stanley Grat, along with several others, created a memorial cup in his honor. And with the following values that they felt both represented my father and the club at JPYC in true Corinthian spirit. The first was the first leg to Michigan City, and I'm kind of into letters and kind of doing acronyms. So it came to me Corinthian and C words. So talking about core values, kind of the purpose of the race. And so the first was a cruise. So the first leg was to Michigan City, and it was a cruise. It was a getaway from Chicago, something that represented something different. So the first leg was a cruise. And the second, actually written in the deed of gift, was the social activities. They were required of all the racers to participate in the race the next morning, that everybody had to participate in the social activities that were the night before. So the idea there was camaraderie. The fellowship amongst sailors and the yachting community was the camaraderie, the friendships, the family. And again, it is written in the deed of gift that all the sailors were to participate in the night before social activities. And the last C word is competition, of course. The second leg was always back to Jackson Park Harbor, and they purchased a Memorial Cup. And that was the Rasky race for a lot of years. And in May of 2016, my uncle Stanley Gratt, former Commodore of Jackson Park Yacht Club, passed away. And after having participated in 36 years of the race, he helped to establish. Our Rasky and Gratt families agreed it would be fitting to add his name to the Memorial Cup. So this weekend, we celebrate in true Corinthian spirit, cruising, camaraderie, and competition for the 41st annual Rasky Gratt Memorial Cup. So on that note, again, our families are so grateful. You guys honor us, and we are forever connected in this tradition. So I hope that you all have a great dinner and fellowship and camaraderie, and that we have a great competition tomorrow. So on that note, I'm going to turn it over to my cousin, Stanley Gratkevich.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that. I can't tell you how much it means to be here on opening day, but my cousin Kathleen does so much work for this every year. She's nonstop. It's an enormous amount of work, as you can imagine, to try to coordinate something this event, and especially in these times. So thank you, Kathleen, for all the hard work you do every year, and I truly, deeply appreciate it, and especially in these times of uncertainty, it's really something special. So thank you, Kathleen. So a couple of brief words. So Ted Gratt, Stan Gratt Jr., Stan Gratt, Stan Gratkevich. You can call me whatever you'd like. It's all right. Russ, if you're out there, it's fine either way, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Ted, Stan, whatever. But I was thinking about so we were in South Haven, or actually in St. Joe for a while, for over a week or so. And on the cruise back, I was thinking about how much my father would have been tickled to be here and to be tickled to be part of the opening day. Tradition was really important to him, part of Jackson Park, all the history, all the friendships, the deep friendships of people that he talked about endlessly. It was really important to him, and to be part of this ceremony right now was he'd enjoy it tremendously. So he did tell great stories. Thank you for that. A lot of stories, as you can imagine, growing up, about the club, about the history, about sailing, trips up to the North Channel. It's quite a few. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here, and on behalf of the Gratkevich, Rosenthal family, my sister who couldn't be here. But again, we appreciate seeing you and being part of this event. So thank you all for your time and for your support, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Commodore?
Here's the Rasky Cup. It really does exist. Usually don't bring it over to Michigan City because, it's the weight thing. But since we're, kind of starting and ending here, I just thought I'd let everyone know that it really does exist. And this is what everyone races for tomorrow.
Thank you, Ken.
No.
Do you want to talk particulars?
Before just so you know, the beverage center is open for purchasing drinks when we are having dinner, wine and beer. And soft drinks are included in your meal if you want to start getting those. Hopefully, we had a little snafu with our catering, and so this is a secondary option. I want to thank Mark from Weathermark Tavern, who at 11 o'clock last night agreed to cater our dinner today. So I hope you continue to really support his restaurant and establishment, because he really stepped up. And I really thank him. Oh yeah, and if you go in and you say you're a Jackson Park member and have your membership card with, that you can pick up, you get a 15% discount. So, usually we introduce everyone, and maybe, you know, traditionally Kathleen had some kind of thing you were supposed to focus on. Don't you have that, Kathleen? So we can do kind of a little meet and greet and get to know our fellow Yacht Club people?
If that's what you want to do.
Sure. Why don't you do that, because we're waiting for the food and...
So in Michigan City, we have always had great fun. So again, the first leg was always a cruise over to Michigan City, and then of course the social activities at night. We always hosted a dinner, and we had all sorts of fun the night before the race, and then race back to Jackson Park on Sunday. So we have generally an icebreaker. We're the three family members that are here today to represent the Rasky-Grat family, and we just kind of figured everybody else knew each other, but the Commodore wants to do our icebreaker. So on cue, what we usually do is we have everybody introduce themselves and tell one thing about sailing that is special and near and dear. And so given this year of COVID, given this year of just very, very unique year, as people say, unprecedented times, I think it might be appropriate that we talk about your favorite sailing tradition as we celebrate traditions. So on that note, I will start, I guess. And so honestly, my favorite sailing tradition is this race. I grew up on, I know, right? It's so easy. I grew up on the Icarus there, my Uncle Stan's boat. Sailed with him my whole life, and I was very, very young when my dad passed, and he had just gotten his first boat, and I had maybe 2 sails on his boat. And all the years since then, everything I've been taught about sailing has been through my Uncle Stan. And so that is my tradition, is sailing with my Uncle Stan and sailing in the Rasky Memorial Cup. And I currently own my 4th sailboat, Harmony 4, in Longview, Texas. I have a Pearson 323, and the gift of sailing has been passed down to me. And I'm super excited she's just a lovely boat, and I'm so excited to be a part of every sailing community, every yachting community, every yacht club that I've ever been a part of, whether it's the Longview Yacht Club that I'm currently a part of, or Kentucky Lake Sailing Club that I was a part of, which I have burgees for you, Madam Commodore, for the club. Just incredible group of sailors, community, Corinthians. So that's my sharing of tradition. So on that note, I'm going to pass it over to him, and then we're just going to go around, and I'm going to ask y'all to come on up.
Whatever you prefer, yeah. So I have 2. The first one is launch day, when you launch your boat at the beginning of the season. A lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I keep my boat at Retner Marine, and if you're a lucky customer of theirs, you know that it can always be an interesting time and a lot of fun with the Retners. But another special event that we have, or try to have every year, is our annual deck scrubbing. So for those of you with a teak deck, you know what that's like. Terry Van Lanningham in the back row spent about 6 or 7 hours with me a few days ago on her hands and knees scrubbing the deck. Great time, and the deck looks fantastic, so please stop by and check it out if you want. That's mine.
I think we should do relay. We should do
Relay.
Yeah. So
Coach, work it in.
So we're track and field coaches. So we've been college coaches for 30 years, and so we're gonna do relay. So we're gonna just try to pass it off. And so this is my husband.
I'll go.
Terry
My name's
Van.
Terry Van Lanningham, and I learned really quickly not to have a teak deck boat. Okay. It is beautiful. So my first sail was on the Icarus here on Lake Michigan in this race, actually. And then when we were married here in Cook County, we had our honeymoon breakfast, or the post-wedding breakfast before the honeymoon here. And so, yeah, my tradition is just this race and this club. So I'm going to pass it on, and then you guys can just move it. That way we don't have to get up and walk up here and stand in the sun. Sound good? Janet, you want to go? How do I get it up there? You got it.
All right, so I'm going to take the mic. I'll continue to pass it on, and I'll tell my favorite sailing tradition. So I actually started sailing right here in this harbor 20 years ago. One of the past Commodores introduced me to sailing. I fell in love with sailing. I fell in love with this harbor, and I fell in love with this club.
His name is Ken Harris.
That's right. My name is Ken Harris, and I'm now Captain Ken Harris. I actually do this professionally now because I love sailing here. And over the years, the thing I love to do most is do a evening sail in July and August and watch the full moon come up over the lake. It is the most incredible thing you've ever seen. It comes up and gives its own natural show and changes colors from red to yellow onto the white. And it's incredible. If you haven't done it, you need to do it. Look for the full moon, late July and August, and you get 3 days of it each, the waxing, the waning, and the full moon. And if you get a clear sky at night, there's nothing like it.
Okay, hi. I am DAC Peters, and I am creating a new tradition right now. I just bought a 40-foot North American 40, a Morgan, and 78, and we're restoring it and putting it together, and we're going to make it a liverboard. So we are doing that daily, and that has become our new boating tradition.
Are we still? Okay. My name's Laura Beck, and I have been sailing my whole life, so I guess that's kind of my tradition. Being a member here is also a tradition. My grandfather, Gene McCarthy, has been a longtime member, and third generation female sailor. My grandmother and grandfather, Gene and Barb McCarthy, started my mother and my two uncles sailing as kids, and two of the three of them stuck with it. My mother was one of them, and the middle child, Glenn McCarthy, also stuck with it. So my cousins also sail, and yeah, I don't know, we have a good time. We do lots of races on the weekend, which is also, I guess, a tradition. Yeah, I don't know, we have lots of fun with it. I don't want to walk in front of a speaker.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Should I stay here or go up there? Oh, I can stay here. Okay, hello everyone. Oh, he says I've got to go up there. Make the long walk as long as it's not on the, Is this better? No feedback? Okay. This way. Is this okay? All right. My name is Tamara Laville, and I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we are not new to boating, nor boardwalks, nor yacht clubs. So I grew up near the water, is what I'm saying. And I started sailing here. And as I remember, it was about 5 years ago. And it looked like a rowboat, but it had a sail, and it was in the harbor. So that interested me enough to really learn how to do it. And for that reason, I came here when I moved to South Shore and crewed on several boats for the last couple of years. So I'd like to renew that sailing experience, learn a little more. And what do I like most about sailing? Oh, the camaraderie and the teamwork and the planing the boat does. That's it.
Can you hear me from here? I'm Kim Webb. I married into sailing. I married Jim Webb in 1981, and we actually took our honeymoon from this harbor and went all the way up to Door County. And one of my favorite sailing memories was jumping off the boat up in the harbor in Door County, off of Peninsula State Park. The water was Caribbean blue, and it was gorgeous. And we just had so much fun. I'm not saying we skinny dipped. I'm not saying there was raucousness. And I'm not saying that we traveled with my sister and brother-in-law. They tagged along on our honeymoon. End of story. Okay, next. Should we start it? We'll keep going over here. Carl. Carl. This is Carl Potts.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
He doesn't want his boat anymore.
Tell us your favorite sailing tradition or story. And your name.
He loved going to Cuba.
I went to Cuba with people from here, several of whom are here, and we had a very good time. I don't know. We made it back, which was in doubt in a couple of points.
There we go. Okay.
Hi, my name is Isaac Stanley, and we've been members of Jackson Park for years. And I guess my traditional sailing story is trying to figure out what's wrong and getting it fixed, either on the hard or in the water. And we just had an adventure last week, and fortunately we have everything ready to go, so we're here to have some fun this year. Thanks.
You don't want to do one? All right.
I was trying to avoid this. My name is Ava Stanley. I'm married to Isaac Stanley. We have a sailboat. My favorite traditions are being able to get a good sail and then get back in the harbor safely. My second favorite tradition is being able to get caught out and then get back in the harbor safely.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Webb. I've been sailing out of this yacht club my entire life, since the womb, as I like to say. I'm a November baby, so it makes sense. So I think my favorite tradition growing up was going out for joy sails and occasional Wednesday night races with my dad. And going out for joy sails, my favorite thing in the whole world was to get in the chair and swing from bow to stern, stern to bow, and my brothers would drop me in the water. That was not my favorite part, but it was a lot of fun. And now my new traditions that I really love. I've been sailing with Luke and Laura because our boat has not been in the water for the past 2 summers. I blame my brothers and myself. But my new favorite tradition would be watching my brothers break everything on Luke's boat. And sorry, Luke, but we have a blast on your boat. And another favorite sailing tradition would obviously be going to sail out to Navy Pier on the 3rd of July, is it usually? And to watch the fireworks. And just watching the fireworks off the coast of like the south side, a beautiful thing. Everything about sailing is beautiful, but yes, those are my favorite traditions. All right. Here? Cool. All right. I'm Laura Wolbrink. I also married into sailing with this guy who is neurotically obsessed with the boat and anything nautical. I think that, all right, I think my tradition, closer, all right. I think my tradition is going up either river, but typically the river downtown. The bridgelets are our favorite part, but it's also a lot less hassle to have them off and just getting in and even walking back from Canal Street to our house. So that is the other part, and probably showing off all of my boat bites, all the bruises with Chelsea, because when you're on a boat, you always get bruised, so it's fine. We live for another day.
Thank you. So, Luke Wolbrink, the reigning Grat Trophy person, so thank you. Do it again tomorrow. Have fun. So yeah, other than allowing the Webb boys to break my boat, which last weekend they managed to tear 2 sails, I think, frankly, this is one of my favorite traditions. This is really only the 3rd year of doing it, but I really like the idea of all the camaraderie involved in it. There's just enough competition to keep it fun, but really just the party and spending time with people is super important to me. So I really...
Hey everybody, I'm Brian Wiles. B. Wiles, Brian. Somehow in charge of this thing. One of my favorite sailing things is when I first started this 15 years ago, I had no clue how to sail a boat. And a friend of mine told me that you'll never know more than the next guy. And so be humble, learn, stay in your place, really. I mean, because sailors, they all know too much, right? So I've tried to be humble. I'm blessed to be here, part of a Jackson Park. I was 12 years in Monroe, and then we started stepping our mast right here, and we stayed one day. And I'm very thankful to be a part of this whole place. Thank you. Who's next? Oh yeah, Dale. Come on. Mr. Defiance. This is Mr. Defiance. You know this boat. He's got the fastest boat in Michigan. Here he is, Dale.
Hi, I'm Dale Merl. I'm here with my wife Barbara. Barbara, would you stand up? And a crew member, JR, and his partner, spouse, James. And I'm fortunate things have changed in my sailing career. I started sailing out of Jackson Park, I think 1974, 1975. And I had a boat then that's now called Miller. And I don't know if it's still here or not, but it is a Salvaro 29. So the first year I had that, I was going to set records with that boat, and I decided to race the Tri-State. Started out of Jackson Park on a Friday night, but before that, my compass wasn't working right, and as well, my wife and JR will tell you, I try to fix things and never can fix things. So I fixed the compass. Well, north was some way, whatever. So we started out with a road map. Started out on Friday night, and we sailed as fast as we could. Saturday night, about 7 o'clock in the evening, we see St. Joe. And I couldn't find the committee boat. Needless to say, you have to be humble, you have to learn, and you have to trust crew members. Since then, because of JR, we've set, it's like we've almost lost track of how many first and fleets we've got on that race, and we've set the record, our names on the trophy for first to finish many times. But then again, sailing is a lot to learn. So, and you you have to listen to people that have done things before you. So that first winter, I decided to sail. I sailed till mid-November, and then took my boat down the river, Calumet River, and I didn't know what a lock was, but I went through the lock, pulling my dinghy in November, and I didn't have our weather gear then, but I had an umbrella. And I went through the locks and then turned behind me, and there was a large barge coming through. Well, that barge made a wake. I fell off the boat. The boat shaft tangled up in the prop, and the boat started doing circles. Oh, I forgot to say, I've never learned to swim. I did learn one thing: put a life jacket on. I had a life jacket on, but police boats, Coast Guard, they all came, and since then there's a rule that private sailboats cannot be in the locks at the same time with the big barges. So, but sailing starts out humble, and learn from your peers, and I've had a lot of very, very good peer instruction. JR has got years and years of sailing, has taught me a lot. My wife and I started racing together, so thank you.
Hello. It's kind of hard speaking through this thing. So I'm probably your newest member, just about a week old. And this is my partner, Andy. And we're happy to start making some traditions here. I've sailed small boats since I was in high school. Started out on the little Sunfish. And then last year I started crewing up at Waukegan, Wilmette. So I'm hoping to be able to get some more sailing time with all of you folks. So thanks for letting me be a member. There you go.
So I think most of you know me, Sherry Parker. I'm your ship store guru. So if you need anything, give me a holler. My husband's over here, John. He's got the 2 4-footed members. We got into sailing when he called me one day while I was at work and said, Brian bought a sailboat, and that's our son. I'd never been on a sailboat before. He grew up on the water. Lake Michigan's the smallest body of water he's ever lived next to. So we learned really fast how to sail, how to make it go. We went to the the sailboat show at Navy Pier. We met the wonderful Mary Avalon. She convinced us to come on down and check it out. So we've been here for 14 years now. And our favorite tradition happens to be what we're doing right now, opening day. And we combined it with the Rasky Grat race. It's the first time I ever crossed the lake, was to do the first Rasky race we ever did after we'd had the boat about 2 or 3 years. We tried it 1 year. I got sicker than a dog. We turned it around and came back. Drove over for dinner instead. But since then, we've been able to make it across. And I have won the race once. Not by my sailing skills, but by my predicted time skills. But I won the race. I have a brag flag at home, so that's all that matters. All right.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Burton Taylor. I am the safety committee chair. One of my friends in high school from Kenwood said, Steph, you need to come up to this place and see what's going on. So I said, what place? She said the Jackson Park Yacht Club. I said, okay, this was maybe about 7 years ago. 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So I came up here. I started out on the stand-up pedalboard. Then I went to kayak. Then I thought about it for a while, and I said, oh, this is really nice. I really do like the water. So I ended up getting a Catalina 27 about 2-3 years ago. And Captain Kenny here helped me sell. I didn't know anything about sailing, but he helped me sail my boat across the lake from Holland, Michigan to here. And we had some trials. What? No engine. Yeah, we had some trials and tribulations. We started out and we were going to motor halfway and do some things, and the motor went out before we even got out of Michigan. So Ken was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to turn back around or do you want to sail? I said, let's sail. So we sailed. And needless to say, that was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. My sailing tradition is to get up. Well, my boat is not out here this season, but when it's out here, to get up on Sunday mornings and watch the sunrise and motor out in the lake. And if I can get a wind, maybe let a sail out and come back. So that's my sailing tradition.
Good afternoon. Hello. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Good afternoon. My name. But is it gonna work? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. All right, third time's a charm. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Paul Thompson. I grew up in Detroit, and where my parents purchased a Catalina 27 in 1975, and that was my introduction to sailing. I actually took a power squadrons course with my mom as a 10, 11-year-old kid. And over the years, my parents got other boats, a Catalina 30 and then a Beneteau Ideal 11.5. And so I kind of grew up in this tradition of sailing and yacht clubs. We belong to the Detroit Boat Club, which is no longer in existence, but the building is still there, and a lot of really strong memories from my childhood at the Detroit Boat Club. I moved to Chicago, and in 2007, I bought a sailboat and, of course, came directly to Jackson Park Harbor, which has become my new yacht club home. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are level 1 instructors, 3rd generation African-American sailors. Very proud of them. And my son, who's 11, is currently enrolled in the sailing program here at the youth program at Jackson Park. What I really love about sailing and also racing is that, life can be complicated. But when you're on a boat focusing on making it go fast and squeezing every last little knot out of your equipment, there's no room in my brain to think about anything else. So it's very freeing. It's an incredible place that I hold dear to my heart. I wasn't always a racer. When I joined the club, several people approached me and said things like, "Oh, you're a new boater. You should come out on Wednesday night so we can beat up on you on the race course." And I don't think they knew at that point that I'd been doing this for 20 years already. So in any event, so sailing is a very special thing for me and my family. And I think my favorite tradition around sailing is collecting flags. I have I don't know how many flags now, but it's taken a while to get them. But I'm on my second row, and if you know what that means, they go from the bow up to the top of the mast, and now I'm on my second row of flags, and so that's been, extremely rewarding to be able to be competitive and to be recognized as a competitor in this sport of gentlemen. The other thing I would add is that this year I added a new flag to my boat, and that is a Black Lives Matter flag. And I did it because of a story that I was told about a gentleman at Monroe Harbor who flew a Black Lives Matter flag, and the West Trek people boarded his boat and took it down. And I thought to myself, man, I can't let him be the only one carrying the water on this. We are at a moment, an important moment in this country, and we are a very integrated yacht club. And so I think it's important that we recognize that we are in a moment in history where we are recognizing that, there have been a lot of continued abuses and horrible things that have happened to people just because they're African American or other ethnic groups. And that in this moment we look for a way to make things better and to heal all of us. So I'm gonna end with that. Thank you. Oh wow. Most people think Karen's my wife because we spend so much time together.
I'm Karen Harris, former Commodore of the club, current president of the foundation, and I think my favorite sailing traditions or moments, one, sailing with my friends on my birthday, so that was a good day today, and seeing all of our kids, right? We've got over 200 kids who will be in our sailing program this year, and watching them learn how to sail and the joy it brings them is probably one of my favorite things.
The right spot here. I'm Kevin Randall. My partner is Jerry Hutchison. I don't know where he's at. And I'd say my favorite sailing tradition is when we're able to sail, which this is the second year now that we're not. After a day of sailing, after take the head sail down or roll it up and come in through the channel. And I like to, it's late in the day, and I like to walk up to the bow to get ready to pick up the pickup buoy, and I just like hanging on to the lifeline and hopefully a breeze is coming through. And just go up and catch the mooring line and get ready for the popcorn party.
Hi, I'm Mary Avalon. I'm past Commodore of Jackson Park Yacht Club. The traditions I can think of are stories, and I have two pretty quick ones. One was the first boat I owned was actually purchased from this harbor. It was a Tartan 27 sloop called Molly O, and I haven't run into anybody who remembered it. At that time, it was 1969, and that was sold, and 40 years later, I bought another Tartan 27, which is a yawl called Hot Flash. So that's just a a little story. But someone mentioned about being going sailing in the womb. I think it was your daughter, Chelsea. Yes, my son actually went overboard in March in Belmont Harbor when I was frostbiting in March, and he was born in November as well. And the last one is a year ago. I was with my son on on the Block Island race, which is a little shorter than the Mac race, not maybe by 40, 50 miles, something like that. And we were double handing on his 44-foot X boat. X yacht is what they're called. Double handing. And so afterwards, I mean, we did rather well, actually. There weren't many double. We weren't. Anyway, we did well. And when I returned, I was not feeling well. I was feeling, and I had a lot of soreness and everything, and enough that I went to one of these dock in a box places, and I was and I told them what I thought was I had a lot of bruises. Someone else mentioned bruises. I think that was Laura. Yes. Now that's a tradition. And I had to go for an X-ray, and I can't remember what all. It was much more involved than I thought. It turned out I didn't have any broken ribs or anything, but I was grilled multiple times. You know, was my son abusing me, beating me? Yes. And it took a long, long time before I could get someone who was a sailor who got it and knew that I was not in any danger. My son's in Connecticut, by the way. He wasn't here anyway. But and I don't know. Maybe it's abuse to have your 70-year-old mother be your partner on a double handing on the Block Island. That could be. But I went willingly and voluntarily. So, and I would do it again. So those are my 3 little stories. Thank you. And that's the tradition, or the storytelling. Chaz. Got to come over here.
Hello, I'm Charles, or some of you guys know me as Chaz. My roots with Jackson Park go back to when I was about yay high to a duck's butt. Back when Gloria was the steward here, I used to come hang out with Joey. And then I learned how to sail on the sloop John B. with Lisa Jewell, and on the Isle Marie with Gordon. Then Lisa left, and a few years later, a boat fell into my lap. Boats tend to find you. Mine found me, and I've been working on mine for about 6 years now. Tradition on my boat, well, the tradition is everyone gets to work. It's a working boat, you know. It's the gift. There you go, a gift that keeps on giving. I've been a member of the club though for about 2 years now. I sit on the board. I work on marketing and communications, and I also run a nonprofit, Rainbow Races Inc., and we do Rainbow Regatta every year. And that's my story.
Have we missed anyone? Luke? Who didn't go? Oh, Ted. You don't want to come up and say a story, Ted? Okay. Ted doesn't want to say a story. I'll say a story. My favorite story. Actually, if it wasn't for Ted and his wife Wendy, we probably wouldn't be here today, because Dennis was like, I got this. We're going to go in the fog. We're bringing the boats in. We got too close to the no the oh my gosh, what is that? The country club, the South Shore Country Club. Went onto a piling, knocked our propeller out of the shaft from the waves. Of course, the waves were 4 to 6 feet, so you know, fog and 4 to 6 feet. And we're waving them off, and we're thinking, okay, you know, we did have our life jackets on, so you know that part was good. Wendy's thinking they're going to have to adopt our children. And then all of a sudden another wave came, knocked our shaft back in enough that we got off of the pilings and they were able to tow us in. So that's among all, because that just showed compassion, camaraderie, and we have each other's backs. And that's what this club represents, is everybody supports everyone else, and everyone, I like to think, is inclusive. Sometimes we get snarky with each other. Hopefully that doesn't last, because moods are just moods. But the food has arrived, so I'd like to ask Ted to give a blessing so that we can go and have dinner. Right now, or as of about 10 minutes ago, there's 1 salmon dinner left, 2 rib dinner left, and 1 vodka pasta grilled vegetable dish left available for purchase. It just arrived. So it will be served upstairs, and you can just go up and get your beverage and kind of do it. We'll try and do it with only like going 6 people up at a time, if that's okay. Here's Ted.
All right. Again, we're going to go with a non-denominational. It's only, my mother died 95. My mother, yeah. My mother was 95 years old. Sam remember that. My mother was 95 years old. And very religious. And she tried to tell me a whole lot about religion and da-da-da. And she said, but one thing, you can believe who you want to believe in, but there's only one God everywhere, regardless of what religion you are. There's somebody greater than yourself. So, bless us, O Lord, for these gifts which we are about to receive. For these and all gifts, let us be truly thankful. Amen.
Thank you, Ted. And just as a reminder, Fleet Review is at noon tomorrow. So we'll start gathering and do our little parade, and then at 1 o'clock. So those who are in the parade and can head right out to the race course. We're going to start off at Casino Pier, and we're going to just have fun. So enjoy your dinner, and thank you for coming. As Brian points out, welcome home. We're finally home at our harbor.